What's up, everybody out there in Atlanta? It's your brother Moshe coming to you live from the updated man cave. Holla! As you can tell, I'm still listening to some old school hip hop, which is definitely one of my favorite forms of music. Well, we're going to entitle this one. But before I do, let me take a toke. We'll call that a fail. I didn't squonk it. That was a very dry hit. Horrible. Hold on, we got a knock at the door. This is a first for my channel.
What's up, dude? You might have been.
Say hello to the people, Phil.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you might have been on the ticket.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna give you some space here. I'm doing a video right now.
Well, you need to do one on.
My creative juices are flowing.
Mucinex kicks ass, because I haven't coughed since.
Praise Jesus.
Praises Jesus.
Fist bump. Praise Jesus. Praise Mucinex. All right. So now we're going to entitle this one. But before, let me take a toke. All right. The first things you need to know when you're first trying to buy a knife. This knife right here, it's a buck knife. Got it at Walmart, $44.95. So let's get started right now, real quick. Number one, this is a very hard plastic sheath, which I like and I don't like. Of course, I'd much rather have a very thick leather sheath. But this one, if you can take a look at all them holes. That's for paracord, people. We all know that, right? So we're going to unsheath this mamma jamma right about now. It's very easy. And if you could tell, see, this is not the way that the sheath came. It has a reversible sheath. You could have it on this side or that side. When I carry my knife, when I'm open carrying my knife and I go out into the public, I always have it like this because I'm a righty. So when I grab my knife and it's hooked, I grab it this way. And I'll show you techniques on holding a knife when attacking somebody, but we'll get into that later. If you can notice right here, you see the little thumb grooves right there? That's where you push your sheath. Comes off very easy. Comes off very, very easy. It's on the side of the bed right now. Now, the first thing we can see right now is that good old buck logo, right? Now, if you could tell, you need to look at the curve of the knife. And if you can tell right here, yeah, I'm not gonna be. Right here, it's got a little indent. And that will definitely be used, and if you can flip it over, you got more thumbprints right here. So you put your thumb right there, and you have this piece, and you would push it down your log in order to get that tinder that you need to start a fire. So that's what that curve is designed for. That's one of the first things I look for in a knife, and I always look for a minimum of 3 to 4 inches. If you're in a northern state, this probably won't go for open carry. But down here, this definitely goes for open carry. Now, this is a solid wood handle. It's not that thick. Maybe for the average man's hand or a smaller man's hand, it would fill your hand and it will feel comfortable. If you kind of look at it for my hands, this is it. I have all of this and it just doesn't feel comfortable. Now I could fill that up with paracord and make it feel a little bit more comfortable to my hand. but it's still pretty comfortable. And I'm not too comfortable. See this little tang right here? This is to prevent your hand from sliding forward onto the blade and getting cut. For your average bushcrafting, this would be very, very good for me. If I'm actually attacking somebody and trying to stab them, my finger would probably slip over this guard. It's one of the reasons why I choose to hold a knife like this instead of everything else. You have your thumb on top, so you don't stand that chance. All right, now we're going to get to the meat of what a really good knife is. You see this? This is what they call a full tang. That blade goes from the top all the way to the bottom of that handle. And now you can see at the end of the handle, you see how it's extended right here? This is more for bushcrafting. It can be used in an attack. Most people won't use it for an attack. So you can pound it like this, and you have a solid metal piece. This is a really good knife. It has very good weight. It feels excellent within your hands. Again, for the average person's hand, it would probably feel real comfortable without having to add some paracord to it. But for my hand, yeah. And then I curve it. It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel comfortable for my hand. And I would say if you're into camping, if you're into bushcrafting, a good knife is very, very important. It will be a lifesaver to you. This is just... I was a Boy Scout. I was all into this a lot when I was in my younger years. I just started getting into it now. And $44.95 at Walmart. Less than $50, and you have an excellent knife. Excellent knife. Okay. So now we're going to take bushcrafting. We're going to put that to the side. And some people may disagree. Some people may agree. Depending on who you talk to. Most people will say your best way to attack with a knife is this. And I would say no. I would say your best way to attack with a knife is this. It's more stable in your hand. And you could punch and you can strike. One of my favorite things to do is right under there. We slide that right up, diagonal, and then you have a stabbing motion. When you're going this way, you may lose your grip and your hand may slide, especially if you strike a bone. You really got to know what you're kind of doing. But we're not talking about like someone that's officially trained. We're just talking about your average layperson. And your average layperson isn't going to know where the breastplate is. You aren't going to know where the ribs are. You aren't going to know where the hard bones are. And if you try and stab somebody when you're being attacked, chances are your hand might slip and go over the blade, and then you're done. I prefer this because you can still punch. And remember, life is not a movie, and a fight is not a movie. If you hit somebody with your fist, your hand is a little bit more stable because you have something solid within your hand. It's kind of like old school when people used to put rolls of quarters in their fist before they got into a fight. But it's bone on bone. The only time you really want to hit somebody with a fist is in their soft tissue. This is definitely, to me, more viable. Again, I'm 6'8", so my reach is a lot longer than someone that's 5'8", 5'9", or 5'10". And I looked at some of the you might be tempted to buy the big Bowie knife in Walmart, but it does not have a full tang. No, talk to anybody that knows anything about chef's knives, cooking knives, bushcrafting knives, or survival knives. You want a knife with a full tang. And you definitely want something that's going to come out on the end. You may need to pound something in. It just makes it a hell of a lot easier, people. Again, and this is a little sidebar. This goes for you preppers out there. You're online, you're doing all this YouTube stuff, you're showing everybody all your ammo, your everything that you've got. All you've done is if shit ever hits the fan, you let the whole entire neighborhood know where they can go to get some ammo, to get some weapons. And you might think you're smart and you might be a good shot. But what is 4 skilled people going to do against 100 people? You can't shoot that many people. And the government definitely knows what the hell you're doing, where you're at, and what you got. So stop doing YouTube videos. Be smart. Be smarter than them. Do I have anything to say about knives? I want to reiterate, I think this is the best. This, only if you're skilled and you're being trained. And most military personnel would probably agree with that. We're talking about the lay person. And this is why when I switched the sheath, which is now all the way over on the other side of my couch, I put it down here, so when I pull it out, I'm already ready. Be smart. Learn your own body. Learn what you're comfortable with. And you need to learn how to fight within your skill set. We can do a secondary title called A Secondary Introduction to Alpha Malehood. Basic Self-Defense and Weapons. You need a knife. I can't say that you need a knife with a full tang. Don't waste your money. Don't go with that big-ass freaking Bowie knife they got in Walmart that does not have a full tang. You might be tempted with ego and bravado to look at that big-ass blade. It'll crack when you need it the most. $44.95. Excellent knife. Although I will admit, I've used it a couple times. It's a little dull, and I don't have a sharpening stone. I need to get a sharpening stone. Love y'all. God bless.